Hello everyone. This is the first video of many to come for Unit 2, and the first assignment we're doing for Unit 2 is simple value still life drawing. So we're going to work through a series of drawings. We're going to go 3 sheets that are divided up into 4 rectangles, 3 sheets, right, and then one final one. So the way I want to work through this on the first one is, in one box you start with graphite pencil. In another box you start with charcoal pencil. In a third box you start with willow, and in this last box you do only Conte. Okay? So these will be written up. They are written up. They're in the Brightspace. They also are in the Google folders. So that's how we're starting this. Now, we've been talking about keeping the gestural components of drawing alive. So I want to approach every single drawing gesturally before I start to fine-tune the drawing, meaning thinking about where shapes are really next to each other, the values, sharpness of edges. I want to go from general to specific. So, with that being said, there's some other things, obviously. So you're starting with graphite pencil, you're starting with charcoal, you're starting with willow, and you're starting with Conte. Only Conte. This is just, that's going to be start to finish Conte, right? Once you get this relationships mapped out, size and placement, and maybe a little bit more work, then you can start to dive in and move around with the other materials you have to draw. So I might add graphite stick to this, I might add compress to this, I might add willow to this, I might add more charcoal pencils to this. You can move around in all these 3, experimenting with the combining different materials. That's what I'm looking for. So if up in here it says start with graphite pencil, and I get that done, and then I go willow, I make a note, willow. And then if I went back in that later and I put compressed, I put comma, compressed. Just so you can do a check, keep a record of what you've added to these drawings, okay? So, it's open up. As I said, this is all going to be written out. It is written out by the time you get to this video. And I'm going to start up in here with graphite pencil in this box, right? And I know, I'm just thinking, Chuck has been saying, keep the gesture parts of the drawing alive, and that's what I want. The other thing is this. You don't have to draw that whole thing. I don't want you to draw the whole thing. We're working up towards that. So when I get in there, I'm thinking about placement, right? I'm thinking about where things fall, and I'm thinking right now I'm going to go the top of the bottle right in here. Now when I draw it that big, everything is going to have to adjust, right? So I'm in there with a 2B pencil. I'm here. I'm keeping the gestural part alive while paying attention to relationships, like how high to how wide. Where this guy comes off in there, this in here, right? It turns over in there, turns over in there, comes down, is fluided out some, right? But not much. I'm trying to get a sense of that. And if I'm off, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to keep going into there, down in here, and off. It doesn't fit. Don't force it to fit, right? There's my bottle, and I can look at it and I can go like with the height in through this area, right? And I can look at it and go like, that's not bad. I go up in here and I go like, you know what, this seems to be a little bit fatter or taller in here, so it wants to be down in here. And with just that little bit of mark making, I can work on those relationships. Then I go in over here and I go like, well, there's this strange carving in here, right? And I want to get the shapes. So the first thing is I got to bounce off the top of this over in here with this over in here. And I'm looking at the shapes in here. Negative shapes. I'm looking at the negative shapes in here, guys. Right? Remember that exercise? And then I'm going to go up in here. I'm keeping the gestural quality of drawing going. I'm not going to cram anything on. Right? There. And down into there, and then like that. And if it doesn't fit on, I'm not going to worry about it. And there's my drawing. I'm going to have a black field, I'm going to have a dark field. It does not mean it's black because there's light reflecting up there. So some of these highlights are going to be light, not black, but a lighter black, right? Like right next to it, maybe a couple steps down. So now I go in here and I go like, let's let it be, okay? Let it be. So that's the graphite. We've got 2 minutes left. Let me go with the charcoal pencil, right? Now the same thing. I'm just going to grab a part of it, and I'm going to start with the 4B charcoal pencil, right? Now I'm going to go to a different area of it, right? And I'm going to go down in here. I'm going to go like, here's the cone, right? There's the cone. Now I know part of that cone's off the bottom. I not need to worry about it. Now it's going to become a textural shape, right? Now here's, and that's the top of the cone, right? Now I'm seeing it, so the edge of this bottle cuts off that cone, right? Here's the bottle going up, right there, and then it turns in, keeping that gestural quality alive, turns up, and it's in there, right? Cone, there's this dark bottle right there, which I got to work on, go in here, and I'm thinking about how far it is from that. It's up in here. Turn it over. I'm judging where it's turning over in relationship to how high this is in here. So actually it turns over a little bit higher when I look at that. There. It's going to be in here like this. Up the side. Out again. And if you're off in the beginning, it doesn't matter, right? Keep this drawing alive. That's all that matters. And work the shapes. And then here's the fabric in here. And I'm not going to get every hair in there or thread of fabric. I'm just going to give myself a rough idea. There it is. So there's that. Now I wonder if this bottle is going to fit on here, but the neck is definitely going to fit, right? So up in here, here, to here. All right, so now I've done this in 10 minutes, less than 8 minutes. I've done the sketch for the pencil, and I've done the sketch for the charcoal. Which means now when I go in, I can drop in another material, or I can continue with what I had to just see what happens right there. You don't always have to jump in right away. What I'm talking to my painters about is like, go slow, go slow, go slow, right? So in here I might do a lot more with pencil graphite bar. In here I might jump into the 6B charcoal pencil. All right? We'll see you in a little bit. That's 1 and 2. And I hope you guys are having a great weekend.